here from Live Heart Inspired Moment. I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for watching or listening or being a part of this village. It's not a small thing, and I really appreciate you sharing this journey with me. I call it Heart Sharing Moments and Heart Sharing Journey. So I wanted to share this with you. This came up from a conversation that I was having, and I thought, you know what, that's well put in terms of the thought of this. People who live offended will always find something to be offended about. Let me say that again. People who live offended will always find something to be offended about. For me, it seems like it would be one of the easier areas to operate in. I'm not making please hear me. Those of you that know me or have visited with me or have traveled this with me to present day, you know that I don't give answers. I share a heart perspective. But I give words and images that I'm working through or thinking about or considering. And I always look at it as a heart buffet. Take what can be an asset and leave the rest behind. But this one just seemed to stick out. People who live offended will always find something to be offended about. I thought about this, that maybe it's because it takes away, if I can be upset with someone else or offended by somebody else, maybe it takes away from doing the work on my own heart. Maybe it takes away having to deal with those things or confront those things that I have been, that maybe I've done and not recognized or need to work on. I don't think any of us can say, and it may be, I always like to use the word sunk. I don't want to assume anything for anyone. But I do think that there are some people who really believe that they can sit back and tell what everybody else should be doing, but never ever look in the mirror. They never ever see their part in it. And I don't know what that is. I have some theories of what that is, but again, not trying to be an expert. But what I am trying to share is that if you are that person or those people, really, seriously, work on that, And you know how you can tell if you are? If you can sit back and look at your conversations, just maybe the conversations you had this week, you don't have to do a long study. Think about what the conversations consisted of. Was it other people that you guys discussed? Was it situations on how they could be better, maybe at your job or in your business or in your relationship? Was a lot of time spent on what they should do and how they should change it and what they should do better? That would be kind of a clue, because then it lets you know that your conversations always center on someone else. And I don't know if maybe the hearts that are doing these things think of it like, well, what would I talk about if I didn't talk about somebody else? I mean, there are people who think that. But let me tell you what helps me. I'm going to go to the other side of the coin about this. I would really hope and pray that if I did something that offended somebody, that they would feel that they would know the intent of Donyale. Like I know who she usually appears to be in the relationship that I have personally had over the years with this person, and it doesn't seem like their nature. I'm going to reach out to them and just see, maybe I was wrong. Maybe just have a conversation. Maybe I don't even have the intent to bring it up, but I'm going to give a call and talk about it. And if it's meant to be talked about, it'll come up naturally, right? But I just think that life, and I know it has to do with the miles that you travel and as you get older, and I can say that definitely, because as things happen to you along the journey, a lot of things no longer matter. A lot of things are just not worth your energy. I call it distractions. It's not worth I just don't want to be distracted. You guys know that right now the highlight video on the website helpingbuildbridgesacross.com. Again, that's helpingbuildbridgesacross.com, is I just don't want to. I want to add that, I think that could be like a back phrase in my mind when things come up. And let me say this to you. This is the part I really, really want to emphasize. I don't master these things. So when I share something with you, I want you to know it is an exercise. And the reason I emphasize that is because I think that lets us all know that it's possible for any of us. That lets us know that every single day we can get up and start anew. We can decide, you know what? It is possible to just not be walking around worked up or upset. Or what can I do to work through those things? Do I need to take time to pray and work it out? Do I need to write in my journal? Do I need to take a walk? What can I do for myself to to be my best self around others. Not as a show, to bring my best self. I really think I'm a person that's pretty cool to talk with. I don't come with judgment. I hang out with anybody and talk about anything, and I enjoy moments. I enjoy laughter. Oh, don't get me started with that. I can do voices, and I love singing, by the way, and can't sing a lick. But I'm bringing up a point. This is the day that I have. This is a new day, and I'm looking out my window a lot, so if you see me look that way, because it's beautiful out my window. It's so green now. A lot of rain in this area, and the birds and stuff. I got to get me a bird feeder, by the way. That's a side note. But I want to see more birds. I see them in the trees sometimes, red birds and blue birds, and I just want to really appreciate more of those things that God has created. But I just want to share this with you before I get into something else. I'm working on some things now that I'm in the middle of, and I just wanted to say this to you, that people who live offended will always find something to be offended about, and we really can't worry about that. If you're like me, I'll just say a prayer for them. If they're on your heart to do it, really say, I hope that whatever they're dealing with can work out. I mean, let's just try to find the better in all of us. And I hope if something came to mind about me, that they would pray for me. I mean, really. I just hope that Donyale works through whatever these things are. I wouldn't know, because none of us knows the heart of another. I don't care how close we are. It could be your spouse, your best friend, your parents, cousins, aunts, uncles. It doesn't matter the title. No one knows the heart except the person that has it, right? No one knows. You can grow up in the same home and have a different experience than everybody else in that home. You could have 10 siblings, and every single sibling could give you a different description of what their life was like. So I come at it this way. I try to operate from love, and for me, love means no judgment. Love means I can meet you in the space of where you're at. But I'm going to say this to you, for those of you who even know me personally, who deal with me maybe even every day. I don't live offended. I exercise that. I clean that toxic stuff away. I have a list of things that are toxic. You know how you have a list of be careful of poison things? That's one of them. I am not going to live offended. And if you are walking around by being offended by something I may have done, and it could happen, because I don't know I don't know what I don't know, but I'm going to tell you something. I don't lose sleep over that. I don't really know what that is, because you never brought it to me. You never told me. So all I can say is I hope you can work through that, and I hope that you can live whatever days you have left, like me. Just kind of focused on yourself. Like, how can I be a better person? How can I elevate the conversations that I'm in, right? Because there are times that you have people in your life that you guys have both been toxic, or your whole group has. And so if you're coming in with some positive energy, that's not going to be received very well, right? But you can choose to just show, not talk about, show. What, I've been thinking about what we were talking about, and whatever he's going through, I don't really want to bring it up anymore, because it's just dragging me down. It's bringing bad energy in my way. Think about that. So I'm going to close on this note, and I'm going to emphasize these words. I'm going to say them a couple of times, because it really drives home the point that you cannot change people. I can't change you. You can't change me, especially those who don't want to be changed. And I have no interest in that anyway. I don't want to change anybody. I don't know their heart. I don't know what they're walking through. I don't even know what they're dealing with. There could be things right now that I would know somebody, and they're walking through something very serious and has not shared it with me. I would have no idea. So my job, I believe, is to, as a creation in this world, is just to meet you where you are, just to share love and laughter where I have it. Even peaceful silence is a gift. Sometimes you don't have to have a whole lot to say. Just be in a room and be peaceful is a huge thing. So people who live offended will always find something to be offended about. Our job, your job, my job, is to allow our hearts to continue to build on peace within, to operate in our best self, to treat this day like, hey, this is the last day that I have, and I'm going to make it the best. Not so much in being morbid, but if you walk into every day in that way, your space, your conversation, your heart will look a lot different. And when there are those of the people that trigger things that maybe you're trying to work on it, and you know that it's a trigger, and they know that, and they do something, walk away. Do what you got to do to be healthy. Take a walk, journal, pray, whatever your thing is. So that's it. That's why I wanted to share. This is a Live Heart Inspired moment with me. My name is Donyale. To learn more about me, I reside in the village, or I should say I create from the village of helping build bridges across.com. About is always a good place to learn. Living in my truth kind of tells you why I was elevated into different avenues. And you're welcome. The door is always open. We may not believe the same, we may not walk the same, but you know what? Love lives here. This is what it's about. I meet you where you are, and so I'm going to tell you from my heart to yours, don't allow someone else's issues to become your own. Do not allow someone else's issues to become your own. Free yourself of that. We only get one, right? And I choose this day to operate in love. Take care. This is Donyale, Live Heart Inspired, my village, helping build bridges across.com. To learn more, to know more, that's where you'll find me. Take care.